Moving on, it's officially over. After 22 years of marriage, Bruce and Kris Jenner have called it quits. We're talking Kardashians here. The news comes after months of speculation that the couple's relationship has been on the rocks.
The couple tells E! News exclusively, we are living separately and we're much happier this way, but we will always have much love and respect for each other. Even though we are separated, we will always remain best friends, and as always, our family will remain our #1 priority.
According to Us Weekly magazine, Bruce and Kris kept the separation a secret for a year and do not have a prenuptial agreement in place.
Oh, cue lawyers. So what really went wrong, and how will this split affect the Kardashian brand? Joining us with more, showbiz reporter Nelson Aspin is in New York, and in Los Angeles, marketing expert Matthew Bywater. Good morning to you both. Nelson, I'm going to start with you. What's the real reason behind the split?
Well, having not spent much time in the Casa Kardashian, I will tell you, though, that they have been living apart for quite some time. So call me a little bit cynical, but I think this may be just a latest plea for publicity. We have experienced the births, the weddings, the divorces, so it may be time for just a new storyline in the Dynasty serial.
Nelson, James here. Good morning, mate. Bruce and Kris have been married for 22 years. Any idea why the relationship started to crumble down?
Well, I think the pressures of the constant publicity, more for Bruce, although he certainly knew what he was getting into when he signed on, than for Kris. And as I said, they had been living apart, but then she was spotted without her wedding ring on. Then she was spotted with her getting items in and out of storage. So the cat was out of the bag that they were living separately, and they could no longer sort of pretend that it was just a harmonious friends with benefits relationship.
Okay, the girls, the daughters, well, they're not his daughters, they're her daughters. They live on social media, particularly Khloe. Has there been any reaction from the 3 Kardashian girls, and there's the 2 Jenners, which are Kris and his children?
It's hard to keep them all straight in that blended bunch, but Kendall and Kylie were with their dad at a shopping mall, and they were busy flipping off the paparazzi. Khloe is dealing with marital strife of her own. Kim is, of course, busy changing little North's diapers and wondering why she chose a name that didn't begin with a K. So I think that they all just kind of celebrate the family drama, and they'll turn the tears on when the time is appropriate.
That's right. I don't want to be cynical, but I have a feeling they all had the same thought at the same moment, and it was cha-ching! Matthew, over to you. What sort of effect can this breakup have on the Kardashian brand, speaking of money?
Well, it can be ka-ching with a capital K maybe, but if they play it out, this could work really well for them. You've got to remember, their whole brand is built on drama, and you think their TV show is a docudrama, it's often termed. So if they play it, and they play it really, really well, then this can actually fit well into their brand, because people see this sort of drama on TV, they see it play out in real life, and it makes it real. It makes it real for all their fans out there. So if they play it well, yeah, this could work out really well financially.
But you would hate to think that this is some sort of publicity stunt.
Yeah, look, I'll let Nelson decide whether it's a publicity stunt or not. It's kind of hard to tell at this stage, because their marriage has been on the rocks for well over a year. I guess what I'm more interested in is the Brand Kardashian, and in some cases Jenner, to see what they actually do to actually make sure they maintain the brand. Because there are some numbers which have been sliding. The reality TV show has dropped about 1.5 million viewers in the last 12 months. So the cynics out there who believe it is a stunt are saying, well, they're creating a new sort of news story to actually get their ratings back up. Now, I'm not so sure, but certainly from a marketing perspective, you want to try and manage that.
All right, well, the man that knows is Nelson Aspin. Nelson, they've used the word split at the moment. Have we heard the big D word yet? Do we know if they could go down that road, the ugly divorce road?
And it's interesting because the original patriarch of the Kardashian clan was a very famous lawyer, most famously for representing O.J. Simpson in the murder trial for which O.J. Simpson got off. What I think is interesting, though, is the fact that it will pay big dividends if they remain friendly, not only because they didn't have a prenup, as is imagined, but also because we all love a reconciliation. And if they're splitting up now, we could all be talking about this again if and when they get back together. And quite frankly, I don't know who else would have them. They may actually be perfect for each other, because who wants to be the next spouse?
Yeah.
True. Do we know how much this Kardashian-Jenner empire is worth, Matthew?
Yeah, roughly we can split up by individuals. So Bruce actually came with about $100 million before the marriage.
Not bad.
And when Robert Kardashian died, he left about $100 million trust behind for Kris and the first 4 daughters. So there's a bit of cash there. I think Kim's worth about $40 million. Kris herself is about $20 million. But what's interesting though is that there's potential for this brand to be worth about $1 billion in the next few years, and that's from not just the reality TV shows, but all the perfumes, handbags, shoes, all the clothing lines that they've got through the major retailers here in the US and in Australia. So you remember Kim's making $10,000 to $15,000 per tweet of a favourable brand. So there's lots of money to be had out of the brand Kardashian.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Nelson.
Thanks for the rap, boys.
You feel for both Bruce and for Jenner, but the person that I feel... Is it Bruce and Jenner? Yes.
No, Bruce and Chris.
Bruce and Chris, I beg your pardon, Bruce and Chris.
Kris Jenner.
Yeah, awful times. The person I feel most for is Larry, because I know to be away on a breaking Kardashian
I know,
news
he
day-
must be devastated.
Yes.
It's okay, I will be updating him by text, just so he doesn't sort of, miss out. Do you know what? I mean, you would never for one moment hopefully suggest a marriage would break up just for ratings, but certainly the timing of an announcement, that would be certainly within Chris's control, and they would have controlled the announcement and the timing of that, possibly for filming and when the new series rolls out, but you would suspect that the timing of it has everything to do with their show.
The reunion in series 49 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Still to come.